any harm or any injury you might do to a child, whether mentally, socially, or physically. That is the definition we have given. And there could be more other definitions different from ours. And then after giving the definition, we also talk about the types of child abuse we have. And then one, we have the mental one. We also have the emotional abuse to a child, where you use abusive words to a child. You also humiliate the child in front of his peers, or even in front of elderly people. The child feels humiliated. We also have the sexual abuse type, where an elderly person says certain thing to a child, or you look at a child in a seductive way, and then you also touch a child in an abusive way. That is the sexual form of child abuse. We also have the negligence and the neglect form. The negligence is where a parent is not doing his or her own responsibility as a parent to a child. For example, you were supposed to take care of your child, but because there is a ngente in Farafenni and your child is sick here, you decided to leave your child here and then decide to go and attend that ceremony. You have done the negligence to a child. After that, now we are going to talk, we are going to use the methodologies that we think we could address these complaints of the children in schools, in communities. The first one we talk about in the community, we talk about the parents, where we have a forum, where we can gather parents, both the father and the mother and the child, in a bantaba, where we talk about things that are affecting our children. And then we also talk about things that we can use to remedy those situations that children are doing. If a child insults an elderly person, what do you think the community should do to that child? Those are things that we are going to talk in the community. We're also going to talk about children who are having this mental retaliation, where the government should provide a place for those people to stay. Because if the government is leaving everything to the parents to do it, sometimes you end up seeing this female mentally retaliated getting pregnant. It's because they are not having support from the government. But if there is support from the government, I think those people will be kept somewhere where they will be treated and nothing harmful will be happening to them. Then we also go to the school section, where we will have a counseling team, that any child has a complaint about certain things that he or she feels like the teacher is not doing it right. He or she should go to that counseling team, and then they will counsel that child. And then teachers will also have their own forum at times when they will go and then meet the counseling team itself.
The GAMCO trap focuses more on women and children, especially girls, when it comes to FGM, when it comes to child marriage, when it comes to advancement of women's rights. We identify them. The police, of course, their target is to safeguard life and property, but with specific interest to child protection, the police child welfare unit is mandated to go after the criminals, that is the perpetrators of violence against children, and prosecute them, parade them before a court of law, and lobby for harsh punishment for those perpetrators. The Department of Social Welfare, we all know, is the mandated agency to look at the issues of child protection. We operate a shelter for children, where children who are in danger or at risk of being abused are withdrawn from their families and placed under a government-supervised home care. During Lami's presentation, we look at the issue of daycare and other care institutions. The Department of Social Welfare takes care of all those things.
We look at one of the obligations that we need to know as government civil servants. When the government have an obligation on people, on the state, we have to protect the law. The state have protect, they have created legislative measures. There is the Children Act, the Child Marriage Act, and a lot of issues, Sexual Offences Act. These have been created by the state for at least there will be a regulation. Wherein if anybody did anything, he will be dealt with. So the victims will be protected. This is why these mechanisms are created by the state. The government needs to promote, that is to promote the existing laws on the ground, that is the Women's Act, the Sexual Offences Act, the Children's Act, and child marriage. The government have to promote this. How can the government do it? It's through us. We are the ones who should promote this thing. If it is after us, the civil society will go out and also talk to people to change for them to be aware. As what I make in my first presentation. That is, people need to be aware. If you are aware of something, you are committed. Then there will be a fair warning to everyone that if you do this, this is what will happen. That's how criminal law makes it clearly. If you do this, this is what will happen. And then also, we have lack of budget of child protection. There are lack of budget which I have seen. You have the child welfare unit, drug law enforcement, police child welfare, prisons, and other stuff. These are all problems that are lacking as far as phone is concerned. They are doing all mechanisms that we have witnessed. We have attended a lot of trainings, and they are training people. Now, what should we do? We should produce, we should be productivity, wherein whatever they give us, we disseminate the information to the society. The civil society are playing their part, but notwithstanding, we need to put this thing because there are a lot of things that need to be implemented, resources. If you look at child issues in regards to children in conflict with law, it's not easy. Children need to be transported to court in a vehicle alone. In sub-Saharan Africa, it's a problem. How can this be done? The law is saying that we separate them. We separate them. So to separate them is a problem with the police, with the prison, with the drug enforcement. So basically, these are the things we need to look at. This is why I bring the issue of phone. We are doing it, but we are not doing it appropriately. Because if adult and child are in the same cell, obviously there will be an intimidation, there will be a problem. So this is where, because of, to implement, to go back to the question, to implement this policy, all these things have to be in place. The other part is misconception of Children's Act, misconception of children's rights. People have misconception. But again, we have to go back. We have to make them aware. Children's rights are natural rights. They are rights that we are born with. They are good laws. They are good laws. Don't inflict pain on someone who is very innocent. He comes naturally from God. God knows what is right.